Now, both of these phones are basically the same phone in a lot of ways, including the way that they look. It's just the 7A here has some newer colors, some nicer finishings, but virtually everything else, the weight, the dimensions, the ergonomics, the displays, aside from the 90 hertz of course, are all pretty much the same as they were on the Pixel 6a. But of course, you know, when you put a brand new shiny phone right next to an older one, the older one just makes the newer shiny phone look that much better because it is, of course, an older phone. Now, that doesn't mean that the Pixel 6a here is hideous. It's still a nice design. But the Pixel 7a just has that, I guess, new phone glow, if you want to say that. And battery life on both phones is still pretty decent too. They won't last you more than a day, but they will last you that day in most use cases. The 7A now does have wireless charging, 7.5 watt wireless charging. And before I would have said like not having wireless charging is not that big of a deal, but just the convenience of plopping your phone down at night and just having it charge overnight, albeit slowly, is, like I said, it's just a convenient feature to have. All right. Got some real nice lighting here. So this is one of my favorite spots to do wide angle shots. So I mean, what can you even say about these cameras? Is there really even that much of a difference? The only thing I can really come up with is that the Pixel 6a has a sort of greenish tint, and then the 7a has a purplish sort of magenta tint to the photos. And that's really it. Other than that, there's not too many differences. The video is basically the same too. I'll just say that the video is better on the newer phone because it is a newer phone, of course. But generally speaking, the video is sort of the same. The only difference is, you know, just the 7A has some wider angles for the cameras. That's about it. For me personally, I think the biggest improvements this year with the Pixel 7a is actually with the biometrics. The face unlock on the 7a is so nice to use now. And if you do have to use the fingerprint scanner, which most of the time you don't, that actually has gotten a noticeable speed bump as well. And the way that it's all set up with the haptics and the phone recognizes your face, you just have to tap the fingerprint scanner and it just instantly unlocks rather than you swiping up to do it. I really come to like that. This the whole unlocking experience of the phone. It may sound like a small thing, but you can say it's sort of nice to even unlock the phone just because the haptics and the face unlock and the fingerprint scanner are that much better on this Pixel 7a here. The smooth 90 hertz refresh rate of the display is another key difference. Although it's not that much of a key difference, I feel like it's only really noticeable when you have the phones side by side. Then you can kind of tell that this screen is better than the 6As. But really, I don't think this is a feature that anybody should go out and get the phone for just because of this feature, but it's just there. It's just a nice quality of life feature to have. And of course, the camera differences now, generally speaking, pretty much the same camera, maybe a different sensor or whatever, but pretty much the same look to the photos as the Pixel 6a, which is to say really nice looking photos. Of course, the front facing camera is wider, the main back camera is wider, and the ultra wide is even wider now. But all that to say, not a really noticeable step up in the camera department, just that same great pixel photo look that we all know and love. So what do you guys think is the right choice to go with if you were only looking at these two phones? I think the 6A is still a really good choice if you want to save that extra $200. It can basically do what the 7A can aside from a few features, but for $200 less. And for sure, if you are looking for a secondary type phone, the Pixel 6A I think is definitely the clear choice here. Just because how much value you get for the price that it is of $300. But if you're looking for just one phone to last you these next several years, I think the Pixel 7a is a good investment. The camera improvements are nice. The 90 hertz refresh rate is nice. The updated, faster biometrics are, of course, really nice to use. And not to mention the newer design and longer support with software updates. All of those things I feel like justify the price tag of $500 here in the US for the 7A. So if you are thinking about it, I think this is a pretty good deal. But I'd say if you can wait about like maybe 4 or 5 months, this 7A for sure will go on sale, maybe even sooner than that, but definitely it'll be like in the 300 to 350 range, just as the Pixel 6a was last year. But yeah, that's been it. Hopefully the video was informative. And if you have the 7a, what do you think about it? I personally love using mine. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.